between here and here. This is why. There's a hole right here. That little bitty hole. That's where it sucks air. And this pump seal, if it comes right and stops here, it's not going to get any air. It has to come back to where it just barely clears that hole. That hole also is for a little bit of oil. This is really, really, really important. Another tool I suggest you get is a syringe. And file the end off so it's not, you can poke yourself with it. And oil that you only want to use, because all these other guns have leather seals. It's a Midfoot Oil. This is for leather, and it really does a good job. Take this Midfoot Oil, and this is a unit that you oil that keeps it lubricated down the barrel. You put just a few drops, 2 or 3 drops in this hole right here. At times, you can have a gun that doesn't work. You put a few drops, not this particular type. Of course, this originally had a leather seal. This is not leather. They don't use leather. This is on the replacement. They still make these seals, and they look like this. Well, that's a smaller one. It would be something like this. Whoop. And this dries out. So by putting a few drops in here and letting it work its way around, this softens up. You've just fixed the gun. And I've fixed several guns with just a few drops of oil. Midfoot Oil, I got that at, I think it was Amazon, and it was about $8. Another thing, if you want to refinish one of these, you can't use regular bluing, you have to use brass black. And one coat isn't going to do it. You're going to have to do it several times. So now, you adjust this with this nut. So this, remember, this felt is, if it's not there, it's really important to replace it then. But I've never seen one I've had to replace. So measure the old one, but make sure that before you take it apart, does this come all the way back and clear that hole? Got to clear that hole, or it's not going to suck air. It's not going to work well. So now to put it back together, it's not as easy as taking it apart. So now there's a slot here and a slot here. There's no up or down, not a problem. Put it into the air chamber, line it up on the hole. I have a better screwdriver, if I can find it. There it is. Now what you must do is put this lever in here. Now you have to pull back. If I can pull it out, obviously, and now that went in relatively easy. Normally it doesn't. You have to, you'll think you'll have it in, and out it comes, back and forth. Just be patient, take your time. Now, even though I had to line this up to where I could barely see it, putting it in, it's not a problem because it can't go out the other side. So now you take this out, and now, just because you think you're going to be able to get it in, you might not be able to. That's just what we're talking about. see, you just think you're going to get it in real quick. It just doesn't happen. And when it does, it's like, oh, good. Well, it just went in. Believe me, that was lucky. It normally does not do that. So now if it doesn't go back, you just have to tap it a little bit. It went all the way down in. Check it to make sure it's not going to come out. Move it back. And now we need to put in the plug. So that goes in. The muzzle plug in. First lever. And again, this one is usually the easy lever to put in, but not today. And make sure it's, see here? It didn't make it. And do it again. There we go. Check it to make sure it can't come out. Remember the notch. Notch has got to go on the other side. And sometimes you have to tap it a little. There it goes. Make sure it's flush. The screw. Tighten it up. And there we go. And of course, you want to make sure that it's functioning. So we at least one pump in the can. And now it didn't fire. Why is that? Well, just cock it and put in a couple of pumps. And what's